What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be taking a look at all of the currencies available to us in the game and see where we should best be spending this so we can get the smoothest progression possible. So first up we have stamina, and I honestly just felt like just skipping over this, but maybe some people have decision paralysis and maybe we can go over some more important tips here. But first up is memory fragments, which will unlock at account level 25, and this is when you're going to get access to memory fragments, which are your gear with various sets. So like here we have a 4 set, this is a 2 set. The important thing here is that these are going to have difficulties, of course, and because at difficulty 3, and it looks like until difficulty 5, we're not going to get access to legendary pieces, which is where you're going to ideally want to invest in for now, because it looks like it is the highest rarity that is farmable. So for this reason, I would only go ahead and fill out sets for your primary team. Anything beyond this is mostly just going to be a wasted stamina. And then it kind of goes without saying when it comes to gachas, but this challenge mode is your weekly bosses, where you will get a unique material that is exclusively here for the most part, and you only get 3 weekly attempts, so you might want to wait out until we get the other boss unlocked, as well as higher difficulties within the next 4 days. And I think you'll definitely, at least completely free to play, be able to hit difficulty 4 in 4 days. Beyond that, just farm what you need as you come across it, but I would say the most important thing that would probably be the easiest one to kind of just stamina dump into when you're not really sure what else to spend it on is just more potential materials, because you're going to need a whole lot of these to upgrade your characters. And before we get into characters, I want to get into summons and our summon currency. You can see here I have almost 7k, and I haven't pulled on the Haru banner yet, and I haven't spent any gems on summons yet. They seem to be very Hoyo inspired with how they're going to be giving out gems and kind of how everything operates, so I would definitely say do not burn these on stamina if you are free to play. And unfortunately mine is gone, but it looks like the starter banner, maybe every player in the playtest got lucky, who knows, but it does look like you are not guaranteed that 5-star at your 50th summon anymore if you already got a 5-star on the way up. Why they keep it around, I'm not entirely sure, because it doesn't build pity towards, any of your standard banner pities, and the only benefit there anymore is just a slight discount on the pulls. So if you want to pull the rest of those and you get a 5-star earlier, that's on you, and it is still going to be your best reroll banner. Now going over characters, with max stamina refreshes in gems, I was able to hit 25 the other night. I have not burned any of my stamina refresh items just yet, but I would say at least at the start you 100% want to just dump everything into one singular team. The game's challenge is going to ramp up a bit, and you're going to want to have as much of an edge as you possibly can. So pick up your 3 characters. I have videos up about considering team building and whatnot, like my deck building guide, and I'm sure other people also have some great videos as well when it comes to team building and who to decide on who you want to invest in, at least at first. And here, character levels, promoting them up, that's all going to go without saying. But here in potential is where I really want to look at is, let's see here, this first node right here is really important. Basic card gain, for people who don't know, basic cards are your 4 starting cards. So just these cards are going to be affected by those minor boosts. Your unique cards, that are usually going to be your much better cards within your deck, are not going to be affected by those numbers whatsoever. As you can see here, like Wind Slash is completely at its base damage level. And then you'll see like the slight boost I'm getting here in my basic cards. So when it comes to potential fragments, these are not, super easy to get. You want to invest these where they are best going to be invested in. So make sure you look over your character's kit. Basic cards usually are going to want to be removed, but some characters might actually have some useful basic cards that you are more often keeping around. Someone like Owen's case, his basic cards are all pretty much trash, but his neutral card upgrade is actually really good. This is where a lot of bulk his damage is going to come from, because you're going to want to wind charge and then stack that on some really strong neutral cards. So this boost is actually significantly better than something like his basic card gain, whereas this would only really help out his early game, his very early game before you're able to get rid of all of those cards. And this one here is actually another one. I don't remember if they changed it or not, but yeah, this one increases the damage of downward cuts by 30%. This is, again, his basic attack, so I don't personally value this that much, but it does cost a whole lot of potential materials. So just make sure you're reading what the effect does while these resources are very limited, until you end up eventually investing back into these, or if you just need to clear out like a mission reward. All right, going down the list, I've mentioned it a few times because I just thought it was very important as I messed it up in the playtest. But here on the 4th reward track, it says complete 5 excursions with an agent in Ark City. You can see I've done 3 out of 5. So I'll just reiterate again, make sure you are, oh, it looks like we just hit reset. Make sure you are spending time with characters at least these first couple of days before you start actually going into the Epion Center and breaking anybody out of the psychotherapy with counseling, just so you can make sure you're staying up to date on those reward tracks, because those are going to be some of your most important gains as far as resources and especially account XP is going to go. Oh, and before I forget, these standard banner tickets, you can for the most part just burn these freely as you want whenever you get them, you know, for a multi. But if it's valuable for you, you can also potentially hold on to these as limited characters eventually get added into the standard banner. I think it's a bit copium, but yeah, you definitely can do that. But yeah, otherwise I would probably just burn it and try and fill out your roster as much as you can. And as you pull more and more characters, you're going to have a better idea of what you're actually going to want to build. Now in the shop here, I think this is really going to depend on you and just how you feel about this first currency here. This prismatic resource here is what you're going to be gaining as you pull characters, combatants. So this is 4-star or 5-star. And then the gold one is what you're going to be getting as you pull any partners. So pretty much any of your 3-star pulls and quite a lot of your 4-star pulls. Here, it's going to go without saying, make sure you're getting your monthly summons every month. You can see I already cleared out the limited, and we'll just make sure we clear out the rest of those standard pulls. And then from there, just hold on to these. Use them as you need them. You can save yourself some stamina. We'll probably end up going to potential. But you know, I'd say keep them on deck so you're making sure that you're able to clear this out every month if you plan on maybe not summoning for a while, and keeping them so that way you can save yourself some stamina as you need those materials. And then the prismatic one, I'm just going to say this is going to be completely up to you. So you can spend those on the partners. You can go ahead and value those permanent dupes. Remember, it is only going to be 2 per character. These are not going to refresh whatsoever. So it's 2, 1 and done. If you want to highly invest into one character, or you can potentially just burn it all back into the Gamba, get some more pulls here. And yeah, you can get limited or standard. I don't know why you get standard pulls, but yeah, you can go ahead and just convert all of them back into limited pulls and then gamble your luck away there and try and fill out the roster. Or maybe you're feeling lucky and you think you're going to get more deeps out of summons than you will just getting these permanent ones here, as these will just be sitting and waiting for you whenever you want to grab them. The only thing in the shop we'll skip over for now is going to be the Zeronium shop. We just don't know how plentiful this currency is going to be once the zero mode opens up. But honestly, just looking it over real quick, I think 4-star partners, they can be useful, can be great to get, especially because there's almost no way to guarantee getting any specific ones. So you might see one a lot sooner than others. You might see one almost never, but this one is going to be very important. This looks like it is that upgrade material for your combatants. And this is the one to re-roll stats, it looks like, or to specify stats in the memory fragments, the gear system. So these will also be super important to get to save you some headache there. And the prism lens if you want those for those animated cards. Strange shop here again. I believe these are the ones that you get when you pull on the prism banner. I haven't done any pulls on that yet, but you can just reinvest back into pulls, or you can get the guaranteed for your 5-stars or your 4-stars. And these are universal, so you can use them wherever. Not a big deal there. I believe that's about it for the shop. I guess real quick, because this kind of goes hand in hand with the No-No shop, which is probably the last thing we'll look at. Hopefully I didn't miss any other important spending currencies. But here, just real quick, the most important thing that you're going to get out of the rewards for taking down your days here is going to be the gem rewards here. Now, the tutorial kind of default makes you just pick the gold option, so double who cares about that? But yeah, the faster you tick these down, because some of these will say instead of 1 day reduced, it'll say 2 days reduced. So you'll want to pick those day options so that way you can burn this down as fast as possible, get those gems easier, reset, and then do it all over again. So yeah, we want to shoot 4 gems, but otherwise on the way there, let's make sure we hit our marks. And then here in the shop, I mentioned it in, I believe it was in my last video, where you can get these policy reports. They have a weekly limit, but you can get these and they can actually unlock, maybe they changed it now, but in the playtest, you were able to unlock one-time battle mission rewards for some more account XP. But until we figure out anything definite there, I'm going to say mostly just dump into your research notes when it comes to the early game. Now it does look like, unfortunately, I'd have to double check back on my footage, Okay, it's definitely reworked here because this skill I have selected right here was actually like one of the first skills you unlock. This is one of the most useful skills when it comes to exploring the chaos, and now it is all the way down here. God damn. These top skills are mostly going to be affinity related, as well as some proto skills that you'll unlock, but you can see the first unlock is pretty dang hefty already. Costs 5 of these. You do not get a lot of these in a day. So I'm going to say that you should probably aim for this option down here and then start converting over into here so you can unlock these other zones, as well as this just having a much bigger impact as far as your Ark City progression goes. Because here we can increase the maximum number of policies, so that way we can go ahead and go to sleep for longer without having to worry about these overcapping. And then here we can reduce how fast that we actually get new policies, so reducing this down to every few hours. So yeah, this middle row here is mostly just going to be Ark City related. Bottom is going to be unlocking different like excursions mostly, which I'm now completely blanking if we actually even have excursions. Those might be a dispatch system, or that might just be the hangout system. Not sure there, but yeah, definitely the middle track, going for the bottom track. And the top track, it's really just going to be how much you value this. There are going to be some important rewards like maximum communication passes, which I believe are those daily tickets that you use to either cleanse a save data or hang out with one of your combatants. Yeah, highly recommend it going down the middle track, especially at least just to get to this third node and reduce how fast those policies are getting created. Aha, okay, real quick. I did find it finally. So it popped up here in one of these. Here you can see battle mission, so it'll show when it actually unlocks. I did not use another policy, so it is definitely just an seems like incredibly rare chance to unlock a one-time mission. So now here in chapter 2 hard, I can now split off into the separate branch, which now also gives me account XP. So yeah, depending on how much you value that, you can go ahead and get those policy refreshes, but you probably want to still get those upgrades in the Ark City. Oh, and last is here, the weekly tickets that you get in the chaos mode. Sorry if this ends up being too long. These should recover every week. I don't think we were able to see the weekly reset when it came to the playtest, so that's just our strong assumption, is that this will reset come next week. But you don't get really any important or any too important resources out of these tickets. But if you were thinking I need to save these for higher difficulties, you can. You're going to get a few more like of these materials, whatever they get. Like here in City of Mist, you get Combatant XP. All right, just had to double check it because these are one-time clear rewards. But if you wanted to save these for future runs, for the higher difficulties, I'll have to test later on whether or not completing Diff 3 will actually give you those first-time clear rewards or not. But the amount of account XP that you get from these tickets, that seems to be static, 1200 across the board. The only thing that really looks like it will change is the amount of XP you're going to get at the end of the run, as well as some gold. So yes, I wouldn't sweat these too hard. You can min-max and then save them for the higher difficulties, but really not entirely necessary. You might actually really need that 1200 account XP before you get into those higher difficulties. All right, I think that's the end for real this time. Thanks for watching. If you do have any questions as far as progression goes, any of the currencies or whatever else, do let me know in the comments and I'll try to help as best as I can, as well as let me know what else you would like to see. You know, we're definitely going to be covering this pretty hardcore over the next few weeks, and as we progress more and more, I'll be able to hopefully have more and more useful videos out for you. So until then, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.